Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here with another layout using the May Scraptastic kit. That is the Daylight and the Story I Heard. I had both kits and both add-ons. This is the second layout using this kit and it took me about an hour and a half to get it done. And this was at a crop that I attended June 13th, 14th, and 15th. So that was one of the 7 layouts that I got done at this crop. So I'm showing you I pulled in a bunch of embellishments from the kit, and pretty much everything I used is from the kit except for washi. I added some washi and some twine, of course. Okay, there's a little bit of a delay because I'm at a crop. Of course, you stop and you chat. You don't scrap the whole time. So these are pictures of my son and his new dog. So this was way back in April, and we had gone to my mom's, and he was just a little pup then, so we had to make a few stops to make sure that he could use the bathroom and stuff. And so I took pictures of him and his dog outside, and I'm so glad I did, because that was the crazy life that I had in May. That was really the one and only time that I took pictures of his puppy. And now he's like a big dog. He's no longer a puppy. And so I'm glad I got quite a few shots of him and his, new dog. So I mounted the 2 photos on some yellow pattern paper, and the back side is some creamish, whitish stars and a blue pattern paper. And then I had a leftover of that navy paper with the almost like little hashtags, or not hashtags, little lines throughout. And so I'm going to use that also on this layout. Still having trouble with the ATG tape. I think I got a bad bunch of ATG, because all of them, they keep breaking, and so I'm still going to use them because I paid for it. So that yellow pattern paper it looked like it was from Fancy Pants there. It just went by really quickly. And I'm going to use that diagonal stripe as the background. And I used quite a bit of pattern papers as the background this time around. I'm on layout 14, starting layout 14. And at 10, when I was at 10 layouts, I had 5 that I had used pattern for the background and 5 that I used cardstock. And I noticed, I was like, oh, I better stop using pattern papers as the background, because my stash of pattern papers were quite dwindling, and I like to make a lot of layouts using my kits. I want to make at least 15 plus with my kits, so that I feel like I got my money's worth. Plus, another thing it does, it gets me to think outside the box. A lot of times when I get down on pattern papers, then I start thinking, okay, what can I do with the embellishments? And pages actually start with the embellishment. Like in some upcoming layouts, I thought, wow, there's a lot of red embellishments, so then I end up doing a red page. Well, there's a lot of pink and black embellishments, so then I do a pink and black page, and then I kind of pull whatever pattern paper that kind of coordinates with those embellishments. So a lot of pages end up coming together because I want to make sure that I use my kits to its full potential. Now, one of the die cuts that came in the kit was a huge die cut, and it said "We Are Family," and I thought that was perfect, because I tease him and I say that he's a daddy in training, because a puppy is a lot of work, and he's 14 years old. So before, he's not a little kid. So before he had the dog, that was one of the deals, was that he was going to take care of the dog, and that meant the training, giving him baths, going outside and playing with him and making sure that he's trained properly and all this stuff. And I have to say, he has done wonderfully. Like, my husband and I can't believe how much he's kind of stepped up to the plate and really took care, or is taking care of, his dog. And we're really impressed with how he's doing, and he's teaching him all kinds of tricks. And it was kind of funny because he wouldn't even leave him in another room without his supervision because he was afraid he was going to, get into trouble. So I said, yeah, that's, you're basically a dad in training right now, because, a baby is also a lot of work and you got to watch them all the time. So I just wanted to, kind of keep note of that. And my page is pretty full, so I won't have a ton of room for journaling directly on the page. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to either stick a tag in behind the photos, and that's where I'm going to journal, or a project life card. And or what I like to do is glue it on the back of the layout, kind of make a little box so that it pops in and out from the top so that you can pull out the journaling. Okay, so the recording keeps stopping, so I just restarted my computer, so I hope this works. So what I was saying was, once we decided that we were going to get the puppy, I just went and got a whole bunch of embellishments and stamps that were dog related. So the stamp I'm going to use on this layout is all you need is love and a dog. And for my son, it was so true, because when his dog died, and he doesn't remember not having his golden retriever. Like, he was a baby when we got the dog, and so he grew up with the dog, and it was like he lost his best friend. It was just devastating. And so we decided to get him another dog, and we told him that, it comes with a lot of responsibilities, and he took them on. So now I'm going to start working on the embellishment clusters. And because I'm at the retreat, I'm not really sure where the page is actually sitting. And even my tripod, the way I had it set up, I didn't know, how much of the layout you were going to be able to see and all this stuff. Now with my other camera, the one where I have, a pull-out viewfinder that I can see, it was a little easier. But with my flip video, it was really hard to see where my page was ending. So a lot of this stuff is out of frame, so I apologize for that. So I'm going to work on the bottom cluster. I'm going to ink the edges with the navy ink. And then on the bottom cluster, I added an Ormolu tag, and it's the number 2 and a heart. And it's another little tag that says, love this. Some washi tape, my favorite washi tape. I believe it was from Glitz. I have two rolls of it, and I'm glad I do, because the first one is almost gone. And it's just like a golden yellow, and it says smile. And then I added some enamel dots and some twine. And once I'm done with that cluster, I believe I'm going to go and work on the top cluster. Now the top cluster still has a strip, and I'm going to ink the edges. And then it has the other part of that Ormolu tag, and it's basically like a speech bubble, and it just has the number 2 and a heart, and it really coordinated with, I took one of the die cuts that says we are family, and then there's an arrow with a heart, and then I'm going to stick a wood veneer, the number 2 that came in the kit. And then the other little cluster, I just took a speech bubble that came in the kit, and then there's a die cut that said true story, and I've already done this part, and it says like I said, true story, and I cut it in 2 so that it could fit somewhat on that speech bubble. The arrow kind of goes beyond the speech bubble, but I kind of like that look. And then I'm going to stamp that stamp in that corner where the rubber stamp is sitting right now, and then I'm going to add a couple of enamel dots, or 3 enamel dots. And now I don't know why, but usually before I start gluing down any kind of embellishment, I have the main part of the layout all glued down. And I don't know if it's because I was at a crop and out of my element, but I was kind of doing stuff backwards. And I don't know if it's because I was talking while I was scrapping. And usually I'm used to, I mean, I have one child left at home, and he's kind of a quiet fella. And usually I'm by myself in my scrap room, and it's just me and Jack from 24. I just have the Netflix on, and I'm watching 24, and I just kind of get lost in that, and I just create, and I don't have to, talk. And so I think I was just a little out of my element. So I think that was part of the reason too why I only got like 7 layouts done. Plus I wasn't feeling 100%, but and I'm going to use that stamp set and with navy ink, and I'm going to stamp it. And again, it just says all you need is love and a dog. And if you see that the speed of the recording has sped up, there was still quite a bit of video left, and I kind of talked about everything that I've already done on the page. So I kind of sped up the recording because I figured why add an extra, 3 minutes, and I really don't have that much left to say. So I just kind of sped it up, and I had a comment, and I can't remember who it was, and she said, have you kind of sped up your videos? Because it seems like it's kind of going quickly. And that's what I do is if I get towards the end and I kind of notice that, okay, I've kind of talked about everything about the layout, and this one here, I've had to redo it like so many times. So I don't remember what I've already said and didn't say. And I just don't want to repeat myself, throughout the whole layout. So I just figured that I would speed it up and get to the end of the layout. So now I'm going to put some foam tape in behind that die cut that says "We Are Family," just to kind of pop it off the page. And then another thing it does, it kind of hides that awkward corner too, because I wanted the star paper to kind of hang, below the photo, but on the left side of the photograph, it kind of left an awkward space there. And then the battery died, and when I come back, I had chosen my letters, and these are the alpha beans, or no, bean alpha from jelly bean soup, whatever they're called. And I just spelled out Josh and Ace, and that's the name of his puppy is Ace. And we have quite a few running jokes about his name because, golden doodles are really, really hyper. And so anyway, one day we were just downstairs, and I said, oh my goodness, he's such a pain in the ace. And so that's now the running joke. And so that's his, the running joke about the dog. Anyway, I added some navy and some yellow Mr. Huey ink in all the different clusters, and now I'm going to show you some close-ups of the layout and each embellishment cluster, and that's it. The page is done. So thanks for watching. Bye.